It's lunchtime, and this is Brad Anderson's Lunch Break. Here in Redmond, we're visited by some of the smartest people on the planet, pretty much every day. Every chance I get, I meet up with them for lunch. In today's episode, I meet up with Anil Cherian, the CIO of SunTrust Banks. All right, so people who don't live in the eastern United States, well, SunTrust, you guys are a huge bank.
We're about 220 billion in assets. So you got, the top four banks, guys like B of A and JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Citi. And then you got the six of us who are like the next set, and we're one of the next set of banks.
Yeah, you're spread across 11 states, 1,400 different locations, if I remember right.
Yeah.
24,000 employees. I mean, you guys are big. So one of the things that I recently learned about SunTrust is that your name is on the new stadium in Atlanta.
That's true.
But you also have a long-term relationship with Coca-Cola.
Yep.
In 1919, the president of the bank bought Coca-Cola for $25 million.
Yep.
So the original secret formula of Coca-Cola was kept in SunTrust vaults from 1925 to 2011.
Right.
What did you think when you realized that the formula was gone? So great organizations have become great because they have found ways to get the best ideas out of their people. So how do you use creativity at SunTrust to really get the best out of your workforce?
It's really a big culture change that we have to go through. When I first got there, it was about 5 or 6 years ago, everyone worked in their silos and they did their jobs. They did it pretty well. In fact, I had a lot of these town hall meetings and lunch and learns and conversations with teammates, and they'd say, hey, can you help us with that other team because they're not doing what we're supposed to be doing? And I'm like, well...
Yeah, I've never had this conversation at Microsoft.
Yeah, but do you realize, guys, you guys are on the same floor.
Yeah.
And you literally can just walk across the floor and have those conversations.
As SOC has driven this kind of same exact culture change that you're describing, breaking down the silos, everybody working together, this growth mindset, one of the biggest challenges we had was our review model had basically made people nervous to ever fail.
Right.
And in a growth mindset, you want to be able to identify a hypothesis, test it quickly, and if you're doing it right, 70 or 80% of your hypotheses are not going to be right or correct.
Right.
And so getting the cultural change to understand that it's okay to not be right, but we're on this learning journey, that was actually one of the biggest changes we had to do at Microsoft.
I really like that. Moving from, know-it-all to learn-it-all, that's just phenomenal. That's just a great idea.
Okay, I'm going to give you 3 product ideas, and you're going to tell me if you would want to invest in them, if you want to compete against, or sue because it's too close to something you're already working on.
Okay.
All right. First, a mobile banking app that bricks your phone for 3 hours if you go over that day's budget.
I would invest. While that's interesting, that whole premise is interesting, the very fact that they are looking at budget and planning
is a good thing.
Now, I wouldn't shut down the phone, but I'd certainly use that as use that as an alert.
Just maybe shock them a little bit.
A little buzz.
All right, next one. An ATM that saves users embarrassment by making it sound like money is coming out, even if there's insufficient funds.
Oh, that's not. I wouldn't invest.
I wouldn't either. An app that monitors your checking account and only suggests restaurants that are in your price range.
That's a good one. That's budgeting and planning.
Exactly. That'd be an investment.
That's an investment.
As a banker, what's your stance on the $2 bill?
Another fraudulent thing.
Next time on Brad Anderson's Lunch Break.
You're part of the change, and if you can't articulate where that change is going to mean, what the change is going to mean from a business standpoint, you really don't belong at the table.
You have 3 degrees from Imperial College in London.
I know, I spent a long time in college.
So one of those is in philosophy.
Yep.
So here's my question for you. Why are we all here?
I have no idea.